Hello, everyone. This is Independent Conservative. Thank you all for joining me. So, pop sensation Lizzo was at a Kamala Harris rally in Detroit, and she essentially said that if Kamala Harris wins, the whole country will be like Detroit. Yeah. Okay. Now, that may sting some people, and that may make some people that's watching this video pretty proud, I guess, depending on where you live. I don't live in Detroit, so I ain't going to say anything about that. However, let's get right into this article and let's see what other people may have said about the statement that she made, because clearly she is a Kamala supporter. And I wouldn't be surprised. These people, okay, Ryan, calm down, calm down. Lizzo was deployed to Detroit, Michigan this weekend in an attempt to gin up support rather for Vice President Kamala Harris's presidential campaign. The sexual harassment and fat shaming lawsuit and brought her the pop star took the stage and said if Harris won the election, the whole country will be like Detroit. Think about that for a moment. Now, here's her reasons for saying that. She says, during a rally in Detroit, Michigan on Saturday, Lizzo expressed happiness as being, quote, back in the city, adding that Detroit has, quote, innovated the auto industry and the music industry. She's right. She's right. Many decades ago, Detroit was one of the major cities in the country that was like considered to be the auto industry in the country, one of the greatest auto industries in the country at the time. I mean, a lot of people got some of the best paying jobs in many of the auto companies back then. They got some of the best paying jobs there. I mean, one person could work a job at one of these auto companies and make enough money to buy a house, car, and live the American dream. So according to what I've read up on that, at one point, Detroit was the bomb when it came to something like that. It was a place where the music industry strove. I mean, I think that was where Motown was created. And I love Motown. Loved it then, love it now, you know. Yeah, I mean, yeah, she's right about that. Okay, but let's go on. I'm so happy to be back in Detroit, Lizzo told the crowd. You know, all the best things were made in Detroit. Coney Dogs, Fago, and Lizzo. Okay, this is apparently what she said in the transcript. I don't know. I mean, is that supposed to be something great? But to whoever it fits, fine. If you love it, I mean, that's your opinion. Okay, I'm so proud to be from this city. You know. They say if Kamala wins, then the whole country will be like Detroit. I don't know who said that. She said they say if Kamala wins, the whole country will be like Detroit. Well, we're going to get into that. Proud like Detroit. Now, this is a reason in the sense. It's proud like Detroit, resilient like Detroit. We're talking about the same Detroit that innovated the auto industry, and the music industry. So put some respect on Detroit's name. That sounds good, but we're going to get into that. I'll get into that. As Breitbart News has previously reported, 3 former tour dancers hit the pop star with a lawsuit in August 2023, alleging that they were subjected to, quote, XEXUAL harassment and a hostile workplace environment. Several people took to X, formerly known as Twitter, to criticize Lizzo's comment about the, quote, whole country looking like Detroit if Harris won. Here's one person says, as someone who was born and raised outside of Detroit, can we not? One person wrote in a post, thanks. Detroit, another person says, Detroit is the worst city I've been to, Sarah Stock, a journalist with Rebel News, wrote, never want to go back. And that doesn't necessarily prove anything. I mean, you know, you can go to some of the best cities in the country and you end up in a spot that's a bad spot. So that doesn't really necessarily validate Detroit at this present time being a bad city. Or whatever, a bad place to be, but whatever. That's not really good right there because you could have been in the worst place. Seriously, another person questioned, Detroit's crime rates, this is what I'm looking at, especially violent ones, are higher than the national average. Detroit was once ranked the second most violent city in the U.S. And it goes, I'm proud to say that I voted, Lizzo continued. I voted early and I voted for Kamala Harris. They say voting is not a love letter, it's a chess move. Well, I feel like voting early is not just a chess move, it's a power move. There's a lot of people who feel like their vote doesn't matter, but I say that if your vote doesn't matter, then voter suppression would not exist. Whatever. That's about all I'm going to read right there. You know, that's all that needs to be said right there about her ranting and raving about how great I mean, yeah, okay, you just pushing, you helping to push the campaign trail for this woman. So whatever. But here's what I want to speak on just a few moments. Look, number one, I'm not from Detroit. Number two, I never visited Detroit. So I'm not going to speak on how, because people get on there, oh, man, you ain't never been from Detroit. What you going to talk about this? Look, I'm not talking about nothing like that, okay? I'm not into all of that. I've never been to Detroit. I've never visited Detroit. All I have is read up on statistics about Detroit, okay? So I'm going to make a comment about that because I'm pretty sure a lot of it is accurate. Now, one particular researcher stated, and this is back in a book that I wrote, I read in 2016. He wrote the book in 2016. It was called The Future of America 2016-2017. And this man is a exhaustive researcher, okay? He researches exhaustively for his books, okay? So he's not just talking off the top of his head, basically giving you a bunch of nonsense. And he stated in his research that at one point, Detroit was one of the #1 cities in the country in terms of what was mentioned, like Lizzo said, that she mentioned it was a place of the auto industry, so forth, and music industry, auto industry. It was the birthplace of these areas. Yes, at one point. Okay, but then he stated that when a lot of those manufacturing jobs shipped their jobs overseas, right? Those high-paying auto jobs shipped a lot of their jobs overseas based on the trade treaties that American government made with outsiders, promising that, you know, the people in America would make more money and they would have more of this and more of that. Was a big fat lie. The purpose was to take the wealth of American working citizens and move it overseas. Let's quit playing games now, okay? When that happened, the jobs left, drugs moved in, and you know the story. Now, that was in 2016 when he wrote that, but he was writing in reference to some situation that occurred in America, in Detroit decades ago. Okay, now, with that being said, he stated in 2016 when he wrote that book that Detroit became the place where it had the highest crime rate, just one of the highest crime rates in the country, just like that ex-user said, had one of the highest crime rates in the country, in addition to a lot of drugs and all the rest. So I'm pretty sure that that's kind of like how Detroit is based on what I know or what I've read up on at this present time, particularly in certain sections. I'm pretty sure that it may not be like that in every section, but I'm pretty sure in a lot of the, and I hate to say, a lot of the inner city ghetto areas, that kind of stuff is rampant. So to make the statement, you know, that if Kamala Harris becomes president, the whole country is going to be like or look like Detroit or be like Detroit is a dumb thing to say on her part. Because if these statements are true, and I believe in my heart that they are true in present day Detroit, although I've never been there, okay, correct me in the comment box. Don't get triggered though, okay, because that's your city or whatever. You know the truth. That's not a good thing, Lizzo. Lizzo, that's not a good thing. Because what you're basically saying is that if Kamala Harris gets in office and all the cities going to look like Detroit, that means all the cities are going to be hellholes of crime and all other kind. And you're probably right. In a sense, she's right. In a sense, she's right. If Harris gets in, the borders are going to stay open. Southern borders are going to stay open. She's going to yick and yak. I just said this in the previous video. She's going to yick and yak about what Congress should do. Woo, 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 woo. They need to do this. They need to do that. Meantime, the border's going to stay shifted, opened. And people who shouldn't be here are going to come here illegally. And they're going to start flooding just about every city in the country because the sanctuary cities and sanctuary states are going to run out of room. And plus, I believe elites are going to, because they want to break up the cohesiveness of this country, are going to ship these people secretly to your cities that shouldn't be here legally. Some of them are going to be criminals. Some of them are not going to assimilate, and they want to cause problems. And every city in this country, we're going to have 4 years of this now. All you need is 4 years. Every city in this country, just about will look like Detroit if Detroit in many ways is still having the second highest crime rate. So the statement that she made that if Kamala Harris wins, every city in the country is going to look like Detroit, she actually is right. But she's right on the bad side, in my opinion. So to make that statement, boo-boo, I don't think you should have made. I mean, it sound good. It sound pretty. You know, she made the statement like, well, it's going to be like, every city's going to be like Detroit, resilient, proud. That's good to be resilient. It's good to be proud. But resilience and pride means nothing if you're not going to do anything to fix the situations. Resilience and pride means nothing. Going around saying, I'm proud. I'm proud. I'm proud. But you still a drug dealing thug. Resilience is getting up and picking yourself up and keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing. That's cool if you have a goal. If you have a goal to make things better in your life and in other people's life. But if you're going to be resilient to be a nobody, resilient to be somebody that's loafing off of other people, that's not resilience, or that's not the best kind of resilience. The best kind of resilience is you have a goal, you focus on it, something knocks you down, but you find the inner strength and fortitude to get up and pick yourself back up. That's the good resilience. But being proud and resilient, like she said, that the Detroit is, doesn't match if the pride and resilience is not matched or connected to something that's going to be beneficial to the person and other people around them. So using that idea is a disconnect, Lizzo. It's a disconnect. Okay? No. Yeah, every city will end up like Detroit. I hate to say that for you Detroit people. But if you know Detroit, boy, I don't know. I've never been there, never visited. But based on what I've read, correct me in the comment box below, but based on what I read, that's not a good way. That's not a good thing. That is not a good thing if Kamala Harris wins. So that's a shutdown. I don't hear that, you know. But Lizzo, I don't even know why anybody's listening to her. And why would the Harris campaign enlist a woman who's been accused of kinds of harassment with her dancers and all of this kind of stuff? And where is that even going even way? You know, why would they use her? Why? At least find someone from the left, although it's probably hard for them to do because a lot of them, I mean, just being real, a lot of them have no morals or values. Okay. Find someone from the left, if you could, that at least is not as nasty. At least is not as profane. But you find someone who's under all kinds of investigation and everybody whoop and holler and fart and poot about Trump. When a lot of this crap that they harping up against him is a bunch of bull crap, and you know it. If people be real, they know a lot of this crap that they're popping up against Trump is a bunch of bull crap. He got 40-something felonies. Man, name the felonies and name how they connected. What, really? Get out of my face. Get out of my freaking face. I don't even want to go over there, man. People... That's what aggravates me, man. People just don't go outside what they hear on the mainstream media. And that is going to damage a lot and have damaged a lot of people in all kinds of conceivable ways. But yeah, I just wanted to speak on that, with what Lizzo said there about if Kamala Harris wins, all the cities in the country are going to be like Detroit. That's not a good thing, boo-boo. It would have been a good thing back in the 60s when the auto industries were still there, when they were making a lot of money, people were making a lot of money and living the American dream. It would have been a good thing if Motown was still dishing it out like it was. Okay, it would have been then, yeah. But now that's questionable, boo. That's questionable. So whatever. What do you guys think about what she said here? Is it true, or do you agree, or do you disagree? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. God bless you all. See you again.